So in today's episode of me doing stuff in Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, we are seeing my very first game as Portalcraft. And this came about because I actually pulled a lot of Portal related legendaries in both the first set and the second set. I got Zwei, and I thought, you know what, I've never played it before. I fucking hate Orchis. I don't particularly like Portalcraft, but maybe I need to become the problem. And so I didn't look up online how to play it. I didn't watch any videos or anything. I just jumped in and thought, let's just learn on the fly and see how that goes. I mean, I've been slapped about by Portalcraft enough to get a rough idea of how the deck plays, so I figured I should be able to just learn by playing it. And my first opponent was Havencraft, which I'm not sure what this matchup is meant to be like, but yeah, pretty scary matchup for your first game. I just needed to have faith in the dark arts of Orchis, however, and march forwards into the abyss. Or I guess that should be march forward into the portal. Anyhow, as far as the game goes, nothing crazy happening as of yet. Haven's going to draw a shitload of cards, no surprise there. I have 2 copies of Zwei in my hand and a copy of Orchis, which feels pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. Always nice to have Orchis there, and nice to have new cards. New cards are cool, we love new legends. I don't think I even knew what Zwei did at this point. I'm not sure I even read the card before I put it in the deck, but you know, still cool to have. But yeah, I do some board clearing shenanigans. I did evolve my Ding Dong, which in retrospect maybe wasn't the smartest idea. Also, I didn't realize until I started playing the deck how much Puppet Portalcraft needs evolutions to actually win the game. Like, Liam is one of your main win cons, he requires Evos, Orchis requires Evos. If you don't have Evos, it seems pretty hard to clear a game out, so maybe shouldn't have evolved Ding Dong there, who knows. But at the end of the day, I just can't say no to a big ding dong. Anyhow, the board clearing goes on, and here I encounter my first giant bit of luck, as the opponent does not have Wilbur to play on turn 6, which means he doesn't get his really ridiculous, stupid mega curve out. But we ain't out the woods yet, because Aether alone can still be a bit of a bastard. I do get the immense pleasure of playing my first Zwei here, which was very nice, cleared that Salefa lovely. And of course, he does respond with the big Aether, which, you know, I'm not going to get lucky enough that he doesn't have both cards. That would be outrageous. So I did consider playing my Orchis here to clear, but I need that to kill him. Like, I think it was at this point that I was really realizing, oh, that is a win condition. I can't just play that and clear his board because I only have X amount of win conditions. I don't have any more win conditions in my hand. And if I waste that on board removal, his HP is not going to go to 0. And so as an alternative, I get Big Noah out. I do super evolve him, which felt a little bad, but you got to do what you got to do. I didn't manage to clear everything off the board. I did leave that super scary little bastard, but I figured, hey, watch this big play. And I put some puppets down using Zwei's ward effect, thinking that could block his damage, but unfortunately Jean disagrees with my hypothesis and comes to say fuck you, meaning he gets to box me in the face for a metric shit ton of damage whilst having a very, very scary board. And I realise at this point there can be no delay on the Orchis front. It's time to pull out the nuclear weapon. The arms race is over, let's fucking go. The one downside to this is that I don't actually have any puppets left in my hand to clear with, so I'm forced to use the enhanced puppets to clear, which means I don't get any damage in on the face. Bit frustrating there, especially since I don't have any other win con in my hand at the moment. But the silver lining is he has to take a terrible trade to clear my board, evoing his John and suiciding it into my Orchis, which, lovely to see, chef's kiss. But I'm not going to lie, I was feeling a little concerned on my end because I still don't have a win condition and I only have 1 Evo left, so even if I draw an Orchis, I can't super evolve it. I'm thinking, how on earth am I going to get his health down? And so I used the draw on Sylvia rather than the heal, hoping that I can find something that's going to help me win. Luckily, however, he could not deal with my board, which was an absolute delight, as it meant I could clear it with some more puppet shenanigans, including my second Zwei. Good God, I stumbled over that. My second Zwei. And then get a big old chunk of damage in on his face, taking him all the way down to 11, which seems a lot more reasonable. He responds with his final Jean to deal with my board. However, I am manically giggling away to myself as I do have Odin in my hand, which lets me get even more damage in, and I draw the final ingredient. I draw Orchis. But wait, I don't have any super evos. Orchis won't actually do any damage. What am I going to do? He's still got 7 health left. I'm fucked. And so I rub my 2 brain cells together to try and come up with a master plan as to how I can convert this into lethal, and I realize the medical assassins, they spawn an advanced puppet in my hand. They deal 3 damage, and Orchis can still give it Storm even if I don't super evolve her, which would be the exact amount of reach I need. And so I use Olivia, I use a Puppet Lancer, and I use a Medical Assassin to get my arsenal ready. He clears my board with his vessel and drops another Aether, which gives him 2 more wards, but alas, It is too little too late for you, my friend. But with the 2 regular puppets and the 2 enhanced puppets in my hand, I actually have the exact removal and the exact damage I need to take it to him and get the kill, which I am absolutely over the moon with. For my very first game playing this deck, worked that out on the fly, really chuffed. I know that's probably common sense to most of you, but I was really impressed by this, man. I'd give myself a pat on the back for that one. But yeah, will I play more puppets in the future? I have no idea. I'm not sure if it's really my thing. I might do though, it was kind of fun. I do feel a bit dirty. I think that's the issue. I feel dirty playing puppets. I feel dirty playing Orchis, but I suppose sometimes it's good to be dirty. And if there's one thing you take away from this video, I hope it's that. But anyhow, that's once again all from me, guys. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Good night, and God bless.